tribute to one of our own, Comrade Pravin Gordhan, a fearless and a gallant revolutionary of our movement who dedicated his life to the service of the people. A true patriot with unsparing commitment to the founding values of the ANC that have persevered in its 112 years of existence. Comrade PG served the movement and the people of South Africa diligently from an era when it was not fashionable to be a leader of the ANC. Many decades later, he remained true to his commitment. He worked tirelessly as a servant of the people, an incorruptible revolutionary who will weather the storms in defense of what the ANC stands for. His dedication to the movement was premised on his unshaken belief that the ANC had the capacity to become a leader of society and is capable of making the dreams and aspirations of our people a lived reality. His role in the underground structures of our movement, the labor and mass democratic movement, as well as Umkhonto weSizwe, including Operation Vula, affirmed this unshakable commitment to the cause of our people. This equally solidified his dedication to freedom and social justice. Hence the song you sing here, comrades, today, that uPravin wayekhona emzabalazweni, is an important song. And it is this moment that define that leadership he has provided and activism in our struggle for freedom and social justice. His life was a beacon of hope and courage, and his contributions to the fight for a non-racial, non-sexist, and prosperous South Africa will forever remain etched in the annals of our history. In the post-apartheid, Comrade PG played a leading role in various sectors. Closest to his heart was the transformation of local government, through which services will be delivered to our people and thereby improve their livelihoods. He laid a solid foundation for the current local government system and continued to drive its implementation with the introduction of his seminal and transformatory program, quote-unquote, Back to Basics. Comrade PG stood as a bulwark against the forces that sought to undermine our movement, steal from the poor and destroy the capacity of the state to improve the lives of our people. State capture represents a painful chapter in our history, driven by vicious thieves, cloaked in the colors of our movement, whose sole objective was to plunder public resources for narrow self-serving interests. We give credit where it is due. Comrade PG, as you would have seen from the clip, he stood amongst many of us and stood for the truth and fought state capture in all its manifestations. Today it has been proven beyond reasonable doubt that indeed state capture was not a concept thrown loosely. It was indeed something that was there in South Africa, as it was proven by the State Capture Commission led by Chief Justice Zondo. His principles stand and vociferous fight against state capture, exposing its architects, earned him many enemies amongst thieves and many friends among the majority who cherish the ideals of justice and prosperity for all. And therefore, true to his character, he forged in the trenches of our struggle. He remained resolute despite a vicious campaign to demonize him and cast aspersions to his character. His consolation, comrades, was that he was not alone in this struggle. As many voices rose against state capture, both from within the ANC and from various corners of our country. Following Comrade PG's passing, those who were the beneficiaries of corruption and their morally bankrupt supporters, against whom Comrade PG fought so hard, were quick to insult his memory and slander his name. They peddled false narratives about him in order to achieve their goal. Not only was this shameful and morally repulsive, but it is also downright evil. This is the kind of conduct society must eschew and reject with the contempt it deserves. As a society, our moral values and culture frown against speaking ill of the deceased. Yet scoundrels who have no inclination to moral values dare tarnish a man who risked his life for the common good of our nation. We must therefore uphold this value at all times and lambast those whose conduct is at odds. You know, comrades, people say it is good that the ANC stood on the side of Comrade PG when he was no more to defend the truth about what is this man, who was this man. You know, Comrade PG had the capacity to defend himself, and he did so when he was alive. And he stood for what he believed in. And probably he's looking upon us and say, these fellows are doing a lousy job. He stood when it was not fashionable and stood for the truth. And when many looked at him, and whilst he was doing a good job, but did not stick out their neck to stand against this difficult task. It's not easy to stand against corruption and to stand, especially by those who have employed him. He did not stand for a position and fight for a position. Even when he stood against state capture, he still rallied people behind the ANC. Because he knew that the ANC was an important vehicle. Leaders come and go, but the African National Congress must remain as the vehicle of the people of South Africa. And Comrade PG understood that. And that is why he stood firm and in that particular mobilization. Comrade PG was the ardent believer in the renewal of the